Let me tell you about my first wife. We met through mutual friends at work who hosted an Xbox tournament. She just happened to be there wearing overalls, sitting on a big comfy couch, ready to win. I sat beside her and started learning as much as I could about her without distracting from the game. She was 28, I was 30. We both worked the same full-time hours in the city 4 blocks apart. She was extremely good at video games and charming anyone she spoke to. She was a journalist without any plans to settle down. Even though she told me this, I still asked her out after the party and she accepted while we dated. And after we moved in with each other, we met up for lunch each day of the work week, occasionally walking the extra half-mile to visit the park. We started calling each other husband and wife and told our friends and family. We were married. Now they all freaked out and held a party for us, which used to be one of my favorite memories. Over 8 years, we had a great relationship. I felt like we were meant to be together. And she told me she felt the same. Our life was average and full of work, but she made it bright. We played games, went on trips, ate weird foods, went on city treasure hunts, hosted parties, went to parties, helped out friends and cooked together through all the years. We each got promoted twice but continued working in the same buildings besides a handful of times when one of us was too busy. We continued meeting for lunch every workday. One particular day she cancelled, claimed to be swarmed at work. I still went to the cafe and park to eat lunch while I was there eating my tuna sub. I saw my wife, she was walking hand in hand with another man. I nearly choked. I started following them at a distance and watched them take a picture together on his camera. This was before smartphones. He kind of looked like a tourist, which made me ask myself where this guy was from and why he was spending time with my wife on her lunch break just before my wife went back inside her work building. They kissed passionately. So I walked up to them and asked what the heck was going on. My loud voice made my wife jump out of her skin and push AP backwards. He stumbled and fell, hurting his left wrist. He cried out furious and confused. He asked me who I was and why she pushed him. I told him this was my wife and he looked at her stunned and heartbroken. She was just covering her mouth with both hands, probably to stop herself from getting sick. She couldn't believe I found them. I told her I followed her through the park and I wanted to know why they were kissing or together at all. The only one that knew what was going on was her. She admitted she was chatting with this man on AIM for a long time after they met in a game chat room while I was sleeping. I was devastated and heartbroken. It felt like I couldn't breathe, as all the memories I had with her flashed through my mind. I gave her my heart and she clearly didn't care. Not enough to keep herself from starting a secret relationship with this man. I knew I had to let her go. I cried and told her I was done. She knew what it meant because of how serious my face and mannerisms were. She started bawling and sat on the sidewalk begging me to forgive her. Security guards and passers-by stared at the three of us. AP was upset too, complaining that he just drove hours to meet her for the first time, only to find she was lying to him. He held up his wrist, which was swollen, and said he was leaving. He hailed a taxi and I never saw him again. The hardest thing I ever had to do for myself was leave my wife sitting on the sidewalk knowing I'd never get to hold her again. 4 months later, I was fully moved out of the apartment we shared together. I had to have friends of mine help me pack the stuff and get it out of the apartment. Otherwise, I feared I'd have a mental breakdown and want to stay with her even though I had no faith or trust in her at all. I just avoided seeing her or forgiving her because things would never go back to the way they were. We were never lawfully married, so we didn't have to go through a divorce. I got a new apartment pretty easily and went a long time without hearing anything from my ex. It surprised me how suddenly we stopped talking, but it surprised me even more when she finally called me. 4 years later, she was devastated because AP just up and left her. Apparently, he moved into the apartment with her almost immediately after I moved out. Then she caught him cheating on her and instead of begging for forgiveness, he hightailed it out of there. She wanted me back. We had been together for 8 years before she cheated on me. But 4 years of separation after her infidelity helped me to accept the reality of things. Maybe a small part of me still cared about her, but I didn't want her to be my wife again. Besides all that, I was lawfully married by this time to a woman who has undoubtedly earned my trust and unconditional love. So it felt good to deny her but wish her well before hanging up. I am so sorry. Your wife did this to you. It sounded like the two of you had a fine relationship and routine meeting up for lunch several times a week in the city where you worked and lived. If only your wife understood the dangers of starting a relationship online, especially when it's without the knowledge of your spouse, things are bound to come to light. Even if it takes months or years. Whenever a relationship is started, both spouses should be made aware of it. This is how trust is built. Then, whenever possible, include your spouse in the new relationship by sharing what you talk about or do together, always with honesty. Anything you feel you should hide from your spouse is probably something you should at least talk to your spouse about. I'm glad to hear that you've since remarried and truly trust your new spouse. Continue to keep being the best man you can possibly be. So when you look in the mirror, you can be absolutely proud of the man you see and what you have accomplished in your life. That starts with bettering yourself in all aspects of your life, which includes taking care of your skin, and is why I'm excited to have T. Hanley as the sponsor for today's video. They help men start and maintain a skincare routine by simplifying the entire process. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their Level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. These include a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin and a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of dead skin cells. It also comes with an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 to protect your skin from the sun and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My favorite part about Teach Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Their products have made my skin look and feel better than ever, but you don't have to just take my word for it. They have over 7,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. In addition to amazing skin, members of T. Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price. The ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, and free us shipping. You can also pause or cancel your membership at any time. And because T. Hanley is sponsoring today's video, that are offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description and you'll get 30% off your first box plus a free gift. Don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click that link and get started today. Now let's jump into our second story for today. My girlfriend, 23 female, and I, 23 male, met at a giant cookout in our neighborhood. When we were 17, we started hanging out by walking around the neighborhood or playing basketball. Friendship turned to dating pretty quick and I fell in love. She was my first girlfriend, so I couldn't help but fall head over heels. I didn't ever see us splitting up or hurting each other. We became part of a group of young adults that played full games of basketball together. It was actually my girlfriend that did a lot of the arrangements and recruitment. When it all came together, we became really great friends with these people and we thrived on the competitiveness. We each worked part-time, but they were jobs that made us feel like we were nothing to avoid working more hours. We rented a 4-bedroom house with 2 members of our basketball crew. My girlfriend was very charismatic. Sometimes I saw her fist bumps to other guys or hip sways on the court as low-key flirting right in front of my face. Other times, I just chalked it up to her character and accepted that she was friends with the entire crew, which included 9 men. One day, the universe blatantly showed me what kind of character my girlfriend really was. I was enduring my part-time torment. When I got a text from her, she told me when I got off to meet them at the basketball court. I went straight there after work and waited for a few minutes before our two housemates J and C showed up. I asked them where my girlfriend was and they said they didn't know, she just texted them to meet her here for a game. The three of us waited for several minutes. But then I got a feeling that she wanted the three of us out of the house for a reason. I rushed back with J and C, then found the front door barricaded when I unlocked it and tried to push it open. J and C went to the back door and found that it was locked. All the windows were locked as well when they were usually open on a breezy day. Like it was, I pushed with all my might through the barricade and leapt up the stairs as fast as I could to our bedroom. It was locked. So I had to pop the lock as I listened to movements inside. When the door opened, my girlfriend was sitting breathlessly on the bed. She was reading a book trying to look calm and natural. I immediately noticed her shorts were on backwards and she wasn't wearing a bra. I casually looked and walked around and sat on the bed. I didn't notice anything out of place besides how disheveled my girlfriend was. She couldn't stop breathing heavily. When I asked her why it was taking her so long to get to the basketball court, she said she got carried away with cleaning and then distracted by reading a book. But she insisted we could leave. Now, she jumped out of bed and waited by the door like she wanted me to walk out first. I just calmly asked her why she barricaded the front door. And then we both heard a muffled sneeze come from the closet. Her worried face locked eyes with me. I jumped up and opened the closet, reaching in and pulling out AP. It was one of the guys we played ball with. He immediately started apologizing to me, saying he knew he messed up. She was my girl and he wouldn't be intruding on our life anymore. I said it didn't matter. He could have her because I only wanted a woman I could trust. He started walking out and I followed him. My girlfriend couldn't wrap her mind around the fact that I was willing to give her up that easily. She yelled my name, asked me to stop and come back, and asked me if we could talk about this. I just said I was out and ignored her cries while I followed JC and AP back to the basketball court. The men supported me and voted to kick AP and my ex from the crew. J and C made life miserable for my ex. So she moved out, I moved back in, and the three of us split the cost of living without her. All things considered, I think this was a great experience. I'd be lying if I said it was easy, but I honestly needed to know what it meant to earn trust, and this was how I learned it. I had my friends for support and they even helped me move back in. My ex was willing to sleep with anyone. She felt attracted to her. AP wasn't the last person I heard she had relations with. This is exactly the opposite of what a real woman who cares about her man would have done. The whole purpose of dating someone is to find the person you want to commit yourself to through thick and thin, no matter what. You have a life partner by your side. But this level of commitment isn't just a pickup game of one-on-one. This is something you have to work towards by continually choosing to love your mate and only your mate. Even providing the opportunity to cheat like your ex did is grounds for breaking up. Any woman who does this needs to understand that secrecy, lying and seeing another man without your man there is highly suspect and untrustworthy. Even if nothing would happen, it's not building trust at all. It's just making your man wonder when or if you're going to cheat on him. Maintaining friendships and going out without your spouse takes an incredible amount of earned trust on their part. When that's taken advantage of, it's hard to recover from. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoy listening, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you haven't already, also comment below with your thoughts on what happened. Take care.